Well, here we are at the end of October, and as I said, after the MOT of the Bentley, there's one more, and here we are doing it. Not such a nice day as it has been. It's quite damp, and as you can see as I walk across the lawn, there are a lot of leaves, and I just thought I'd have a record of the place looking about as bad as it can be in terms of debris. When things dry up and more leaves have come down, I'll get the lawn tractor out and run over the lawn again, and then the lawn tractor will be ready for cleaning and servicing, and it will go to bed for the winter. So this is about as bad as you'll see it, roughly. The leaves are all down by Christmas normally, and the ones I rake up I normally burn, and the ones I pick up with the lawn tractor end up here, which used to be part of a ditch that never really worked. So I found the original ditch and dug it out and piped it, and this is now no longer necessary. So ultimately all these ditches will be filled over the period, whether or not by me remains to be seen. I've also been doing a lot of hedging. I do a sort of basic hedging late June when the birds have finished nesting, and then a serious hedge at this time of the year when the sap's down. Anyway, I came this way to have a look at another bank of cyclamen. There are two banks of cyclamen, and here's another one, and they're still looking quite nice. There's been no frost as of yet, so until the frost comes they'll probably survive, and then we'll wait a couple of months and there'll be snowdrops poking about. And here's a pile of debris from my hedging activities, which I haven't finished, and I'll be firing that later on, probably next month when I've got most of the hedging done. So here we are looking at the last of the cars, which most people would say is the most boring, at least the last car that needs an MOT. There's still another one that I'm working on that I might bring down sometime, but that's not important. This one has just had its MOT done, so like the others it's never going to look as good for another year in spite of all the rain. So here we are, a boring old Ford. A boring old Ford Galaxy, no less. And there she is. He's a basic 2-litre diesel, and she's 12 years old, and she was nearly 2 when I bought her, and the reason I bought her at all was because it's a wheelchair friendly car. Otherwise I probably would never have even thought of buying one. And what makes it interesting, and the reason I keep it, is here. So we open the back, we undo the ramp, and here's the reason I keep the car. A lot of space, and I've moved a house in this car in its entirety. You can even get a double bed mattress in there, surprisingly. I've had all sorts small wardrobes, everything you can think of, building materials, masses of bricks and things over the years. It's all nice and clean at the minute because of the MOT. I always like to present my cars in a reasonable condition. So here's the reason it's a little bit unusual. Obviously I bought it for my late wife. We used to use her little red Subaru to move around when she couldn't drive because I could lift her in and out. But slowly and short but surely she got worse until she needed a special wheelchair that was sort of designed to fit her problems. And so we needed something that she could go around in. And this is it. I chose the Ford opposed to the others for obvious reasons really. Ease of spares, cheapness of spares, and my late wife wanted it to be fairly straightforward and basic because she didn't want to be sort of picked out. So this one is, you know, the basic model really, and it does have smoked windows at the back end, which means that no one would stare at her, which she liked. And basically she chose this one rather than the others because it looked just like an ordinary car. And any normal person, I suppose, after their wife had gone, would say, right, let's get rid of it. But not me. I sort of stick with things, and my electric bike will go straight in. In fact, you can get any number of bicycles without taking anything apart. The bike just goes straight in. I clip one of these seat belts around it, and bingo, you can go anywhere. And I have done. So I've put my electric bike in there, gone off down to the local waterway and had a cycle, and then popped it back in. So yeah, that's the reason it's still being kept. It's done very few miles really for a 12-year-old car, 45,000, and that's your lot. I actually opted for a diesel because back then, 12 years ago, that was the way to go. Everyone told you that yes, diesels are the way to go, and I have to say it's extremely economical. It really is. It's turbo diesel, so it's very efficient, and it goes well. It's got 147 horsepower, which isn't, you know, huge, but it's not bad for a car this size, which is fairly aerodynamic. So she's a very comfortable cruiser, and I use this, you know, a fair bit if I'm going any distance and I need a bit of space for bits and pieces. This is the one I will use. As a motorway cruiser, I mean, it's ideal. It'll do 80 at about 2,500 revs, which is nothing in 6th gear. So anyway, it won't look as nice as this because I shall be using it to cart stuff around again shortly. So anyway, we'll put the tailgate up. There we go, that just clicks, and then pull down the tail, pop it in, bingo. And you wouldn't know it was anything other than an ordinary Ford Galaxy, apart from I've got the sticker on the back, just to warn people not to park too close really. When we used it a lot, we needed you know, 5 or 6 feet really to get the wheelchair out at the back, and I've just left the sticker on. It's not a bad old thing really. There's the MOT on the seat like all the others. I even cleaned the upholstery this year, first time ever, so it's not looking too bad, and it's had a bit of time spent on it. I completely painted underneath and all the wings everywhere during the lockdown, and did a complete full service and replaced brake parts and bits and pieces. Other than that, really it's been very good. It hasn't had too many problems, but being a Ford, you do get the odd little switch fault, which you can mostly cure with WD-40. You have to take it to bits, but that's about it. I did fit mud flaps all round to just keep the mud down, but other than that, I haven't done very much with this one, and it sort of suffered by being neglected, I guess. Straightforward engine. Let's have a quick look. You can't see much because of all the plastic covers. They even had plastic covers over the battery, which was ridiculous, and I outed that as soon as I bought it so I could get to the battery. It's all fairly easy to get to. Air filter, all the bits and pieces are quite easy. This top cover is actually very good at keeping the high frequency noise down. I was quite surprised when I was servicing it, when I took that off to get to things, how effective it was at keeping the high frequencies down. Just remove these leaves so that everything drains, and I'll put the top down again. There we are. It's a very mucky day, so I've got a very mucky coat on. And there we are. The last of the cars that need an MOT. They're all due September, October, November. So that's the Subaru Forester. No, it's the Subaru Justy first, the Forester next, then the Bentley, then the Galaxy. And the other car that I've had for years is sitting in the garage waiting for me to do some work on the body. Needs new window seals, and the earthing on one of the headlamps looks suspect, so I shall be looking at that in the garage while the weather worsens. And then of course, when all this lot's picked up with the lawn tractor, I just have the lawn tractor to put to bed. So maybe I'll do a walk round of the lawn tractor. It's quite interesting actually. It's got a V-twin Kawasaki engine, obviously air cooled, which is really good. I've never had any trouble with it anyway, touch wood. So there we go. 2008 Galaxy 2 litre turbo diesel.